to, first of all, send peace and love to all of you. Um, it's been definitely a challenging, to say the least, with everything that's going on. And obviously, I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes. You know, it's, we are really at that end precipice. We are at that verge of shifting consciousness. Everybody is playing a role. Everybody's doing, coming here to learn their experiences, soul lessons, um, and to others are, like myself, have volunteered to help. But we're all learning things. We're all learning from these experiences, no matter if we are volunteering to help or teach, or whether we are first timers, moving out of third density to fourth density. So in this video, I want to talk about the earth changes, the catastrophes, how it relates to this ascension, how soul lessons come into play. And, I covered a lot of information in my prior videos, a couple videos about the earth changes and things happening. But I think these things are very important for people to realize, to know, because whether you are going to go to this first wave shift or whether you're going to ascend in the second wave or whatever, we're all going to go through some of these changes. As the years progress, it's going to get more intense as the earth shifts. And on top of all of the personal experiences and soul lessons that we're going through. So it is very overwhelming for most of us. And this includes, everybody, everybody on the planet. So, first I'll go into, before I go into talk about what I want to talk about, the soul lessons and the earth changes, catastrophes. I'm not going to go into the earth changes. I'm just going to explain how the earth changes in general correlates with this ascension. So, but we entered a new age, an age of Aquarius, which is an air sign, and which means much swifter, much faster movement of energy. And these controllers that have manipulated the planet for the last thousands of years are not wanting to give up their power. They're not wanting to give up the old ways, the old Piscean energy, Piscean age, and they don't want to give that up. They want to continue holding on, and they're going to do everything they can to try and force people to go with their ways. And this includes everything that's going on. The introduction of the illness that they did last year, the introduction of the shot that people get. They're trying to make everybody be forced to follow their rules and the regulations. And it's taking away people's livelihoods. It's causing many people to lose their jobs. And so there's a lot going on. This is a very difficult time because we're at that end precipice. And this end precipice may last many years yet. It may last another 10 years, 12 years, whatever it is. But not everybody will stay for that. Like I mentioned, there will be those of us that leave because we are choosing to. We are choosing, or you are choosing to leave early. And I'll explain kind of how the process kind of works. Okay. So first of all, I want to get out of the way the catastrophes and the earth changes and things. The catastrophes on the earth are really caused and dependent on the difficulty in this ascension, because there are so many uh, people on this planet, and there are so many levels of understanding and involvement on this planet that not everybody is on the same level. So what that means is there's a lot of people that are not ready to graduate to fourth density, who are not done with um, their third density experiences and lessons. So they are experiencing something different. They are going through, may not be, how do I say this? I'll use examples because I think this will help a lot. But so what I'm trying to say is, these, as the energy is so spread out and is so diverse in polarity, the greater that energy is, the greater the catastrophes and the earth changes. Okay, the earth changes go into this as well. Now, it could be much easier ascension on the whole planet if people would choose to and get through these difficulties together and work together in a unified way. It would be much easier. But because people are not, and there's a lot of division, it's creating more problems and more earth changes and disasters, okay? Because as the energy increases and the division increases, the earth responds that way. So this is part of this process. And unfortunately, I mean, none of us want people to go through some suffering and difficulties, because, the planet has gone through this for the longest time. And so people have suffered so much. So again, these are with I'm not going to go into the earth changes like I talked about. You can check my last video out, and what's coming. So like I said, if people would unify and come together, it would be easier. But the thing is, we have everybody, but the thing that is important is the soul lessons, okay? So there are those who are right at that graduation level of third density going into fourth density. They're ready to graduate to that fourth density, which is the heart chakra, which is involve love and understanding, okay? They are ready to move on to the new earth, and they will do so. They will incarnate there, okay? It will be at a different density. It will be a different dimension. It will be in the same space, but it will, like I said, it will be different. So they will have to leave this physicalness planet and then incarnate there, okay, at a lighter frequency body than they have here. Okay, so there are also those who are still going through a lot of the third density, third dimension physical lives. They still have a ways to go yet. So there are a lot of those who are new to third density, which second density are the animals and plant world. So there are a lot of those who are still new yet in this third density. They are still experiencing. They may have another 10,000 more years to experience physical lives because they need to get soul lessons out, okay? So that's causing a lot of division in this energy in this planet, and that makes it more of a difficult ascension for the rest of those who are really at that cusp of graduating to fourth density. So we have to realize not everybody's going to shift to that fourth density. Not everybody's going to make it to that fifth dimension, fourth density, new Earth planet. They won't. And I think that's a misunderstanding on many who think that the planet is ascending together. Well, we're always ascending, we're always evolving, but not everybody's not everybody's at the same level. It's just like grade school and high school and middle school. There are varying grades on this planet, just like there are in school. So if you look at it that way, and many still have a lot of lessons to learn. So as we get closer to this shift, which, like I said, more those who are at the cusp of graduating to fourth density are going to receive more of the soul lessons by seniority. Okay, seniority, and this information I'm sharing is based on the Law of One series, book 2. So you can read through that book if you know choose to read that series. So this is really a Law of One kind of lesson. It's not terribly long. It's going to be more of a shorter lesson here, but this is what I wanted to share as well, soul lessons. So as people incarnate and they're really close at that graduation where they are eligible to graduate to fourth density or in the fifth dimension, they are going to experience more of the traumatic and more of the life lessons, okay? While those who are still got a long ways to go in third dimension, third density, they're going to continue they might have easier lives. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't understand how many people, many people can just coast through this life and not have many difficulties. It's because they're choosing that. We all choose our soul lessons that we need to learn before we incarnate. All of us do. We all learn, okay? We all experience. I know I've learned a lot in this third density life, and I'm sure many of you have. And so as those who are ready to graduate and eligible to graduate to fourth density, they will receive a lot more difficulties in this life. And it will speed up as they get closer to the shift. And I know, somebody can, examples of this. So before they can graduate, maybe one of the lessons is they need to experience a loss of a loved one, okay? Maybe they need to experience a end of a friendship or a end of a difficult relationship, or maybe they need to experience could be a number something to do with patience or trust or any of those life lessons. And so what the important thing is, and if the person does not experience that for whatever reason, it will be forced on them because they chose that lesson before they came into this life. So it's going to happen one way or the other before they can graduate. It's like when you are at a senior, a 12th grade senior in high school. You have so many tests to take, you have to pass before you can graduate to go, so you can go into college or you can go on and do whatever you want, okay? So this is the same way with this ascension. Those who are at that cusp who are going to graduate need to experience these soul lessons, and they are given priority and seniority over this before others and who still have a ways to go in third density. So these are the soul lessons that need to be learned or experienced, I should say, before they can move on to fourth density. That's has to, because they agreed to it, first of all, even though you don't remember before you incarnate, but these are life lessons. And what you can do, and what I always do, is if you have come a difficult time or a difficult experience that you had, what is one thing you learned from it? Did you learn something from it? What is it that you learned from it? Maybe, like I said, you learned how to trust more, or how to maybe be careful who you trust, or maybe it's to learn a patience and dealing with a difficult person. It could be a number of things. So you ask yourself, what did I learn from this? Okay. Am I ready to let it go? Okay, that is the real important thing, is am I ready to let this go? If you are, then your life, that soul lesson, done. Okay? So if we start asking ourselves that, we can look back. Maybe some of you were still receiving difficult experiences that are happening. Maybe you just recently lost your job, or I know I've had many in the last 4 years. It's been quite intense for myself and my family, and so I lost my brother. I've been let go from jobs. I've had other family members pass. I've had a family pet pass. I've had, The list goes on. In the last 4 years, I had a divorce, a separation. I've, let go of pets that I had to I love them because I realized it was important for my ex to take care of them because my ex needed the more of that companionship. Okay, so these are life lessons that we all learn and experience. So this is really the purpose of these soul lessons that people it's like speeding up quicker and the are faster and the things that are happening right now, the events in the worldwide are also lessons for everyone on a collective level. Okay, so it's a matter of how people are going to handle some of these events that are about to take place. How is the collective as a whole going to deal with these events that are going to take place? Are they going to say, no way, they're going to fight it? Or they're going to say, okay, this is what we got from it. This is what we can move forward from it together. If they fight it, then there's going to be more traumatic earth changes and things because the planet's going to respond to how the collective responds. Okay, so those are the important things on this life lessons, soul lessons. Okay, this is really what I wanted to cover. I didn't want to be too long of a video. I wanted to just share some really important law of one. I'm reading the series over again because there's some things that I missed the first time that I am learning, understanding better because it is a very convoluted series. I highly recommend, reading this series because there's a lot, especially in the first book, Law of One. There's a lot of information in there. A lot about the Orion group that had invaded the planet, the negative Orion group. It's also a lot about their densities and what the different densities represent, and I've mentioned some of that in prior videos. So I highly recommend you, reading it if you haven't done so. I will share lessons from them as I go through because this was something I thought that was very important to share from the book 2, and to kind of give a better understanding how these earth changes and everything ties in, these events tie into the ascension, and how our individual soul experiences, lessons tie into this ascension too, and how it works with, like I said, seniority for those who are ready to graduate. Okay, they're going to be given the seniority first because they're graduating, they're ready. Now, yes, there will be those who are eligible that won't make it because they choose not to go through these soul lessons, or they choose not to learn. They don't learn from it. They may not be ready for it. So anyway, I want to wrap this video up. I appreciate you watching my videos. Please share this video because it is important. I will continue to do other Law of One because I think these are really important and in reference to right now. Much of what they talk about is the law of one. It doesn't necessarily, and law of one is the law of the one infinite creator. Okay, that's what the law of one is. And like I said, these experiences are for these information in the book is really not needed to know before one can graduate to the next density. It is just information that pertains to the ascension, the harvest, they call it, the rapture. You can call it, Christianity calls it rapture. It's all the same thing. There will be more difficult times coming, definitely, because as you get closer to the end here, there's going to be many more difficult times. It doesn't have to be, though. That's the thing. People don't understand. It doesn't have to be difficult. If people would stop dividing and creating division amongst each other and just come together and realize that letting go of the old ways of doing things and coming together and say, learning from each other, then it would be much easier. But there's so many who still choose to hold on to the old ways, especially those who have controlled this planet for millennia. They are not going to go quietly. They will not release, let go quietly, but they won't have a choice. They will be, they will have to leave. They will have to depart this planet, and it will happen because their frequency doesn't match the new frequency of energy coming in. So they're going to have a much more difficult time maintaining that control over this planet. They will lose that control because they are not able to use into this new age of Aquarius, this new energy, to be able to hold on. It's too fast for them. It's too high, much more frequency, much more vibration and intensity. So they will not be successful. No, they won't. But it's just the way of how you want to learn these lessons, how you choose to learn from what's happening. Okay, and the more you observe it and let go of it and just say, hey, yeah, it's a lesson for everybody. The easier your life, how do I say, the less difficulties you will have. Okay, so again, thank you for watching. Again, I know it's difficult. It's been extremely difficult for many of us, and I love you all. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and check out my other videos. And like I said, the purpose of me sharing these videos is to share, a science part of it as well, because that's has to be part of this ascension. So I know that some of it has been talking about the changes and the earth changes, but I want to kind of bring it all together so you can see how it relates to what's happening, because you have to take all facets of this ascension. It's not just the spirituality and evolving. Okay, it's about the whole entire package. So thank you again. Love you all, and until next time, God bless.